Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect episode 64. Today's date is September 26, 2020, and I am Duds or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. And today we have a special guest, our producer of the show, Carl. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys, great to be back again on the podcast, keeping you guys on track for a change.
Great.
Making us wear pants.
Yep, you've got to wear your pants, guys. I've told you about this. We also have another guest with us as well, don't we?
What? Do we?
Yeah?
Oh.
Did you not get the message?
Jimbo doesn't read notes, he just writes them.
We have our music master DiiKoj with us.
Hey, DiiKoj. Welcome to the show.
Finally! I'm finally here. Thank you. We did it.
We made time zones work.
For once.
Yeah, really fun to be on again. It was a long time ago.
For those of you who don't know the behind the scenes thing, we've tried to have DiiKoj on the show like 3 or 4 times now, but time zones do not work out very well.
I've been on before, but it was one of the earliest episodes. 6 or 8 or something like that.
It was episode 8, yeah.
8, yeah.
Ooh, OG.
Back in the day.
We're calling that BJ or before Jimbo. Way to go, Jimbo. You have your own timeline cursor in the history of the Withering Effect.
Call it BJ. Like that. Call it BJ.
Oh dear.
And here's Carl going, oh, that's at the 1858 minute mark, and I have to edit that out.
Yeah, that's getting cut out. Right.
Didn't we do stuff in the week and stuff? Aren't we supposed to?
Talk about that.
Yeah, Carl is supposed to ask me, I think.
DiiKoj, what did you do with this week?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
That was the greatest voice of all time.
Well, I pranked Jimbo.
Yes, you did.
Spoilers!
It was last week actually, but in this week's episode, it was not really a prank. It was a nice gift, right?
It was a nice delivery.
Yeah.
A new friend and something for you to do in your downtime.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Something to assemble.
Oh, yeah, that too. I think I did it right.
Yeah, we'll see. And also, I got pranked as well. We're talking Minecraft now, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the one who did it, I have this shop on the Ripple Effect server where I sell bows.
Oh, yeah.
And when you buy a bow, you get free arrows. You can just stand on a pressure plate and bows will rain down on you. But this week I found out that instead of raining down arrows, they were actually shooting down. Very evil. And for one moment there, I thought maybe I made a mistake and I placed the dispenser instead of a dropper. But it was actually, yeah, the one who made the prank boasted about it on Twitter, so we know who it is now.
And he's laughing in our live chat at the moment as well.
Very big laughing face. It's Aubni, our dear friend Aubni, and we will get back to you.
Laughing in real life too.
But except from that, I've started to build a wall around my desert village.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen that video, I really like when you have double functions for stuff. So that is actually my sugarcane farm that will go around the whole village. So when it's done, you can see pistons clipping off the sugarcanes, and also minecarts going round, and it looks kind of nice when it's finished, I think. So that will kind of encapsulate the village and keep everyone safe and give sugarcanes. The problem now is to get enough warped stems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can automate that. You can't, right?
No, you can.
A tree farm.
The tree farm, that's the only way. So build a tree farm, and I will buy it from you.
I've never built one myself, to be honest. Put a lot of stuff, but not a tree farm.
They take a while.
There's definitely a way. The problem is the amount of bone meal you would need to automate it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think Etho made one with TNT.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you need a lot of bone meal. But get on it. Aubni, your mission. Build a warp tree farm.
We need warp trees.
Please. But Carl, what have you been up to this week in Minecraft?
This week I have built a gold farm because I noticed, well, for several reasons really. One, there was a gap in the market in the shopping district. So I filled that. And already made some good sales, so that's really good. Also, I want to do some piglin bartering at some point. So I'm going to need gold for that. And also, I have a mini game idea for later in the season.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be using gold nuggets for part of that game. I'm not going to give more than that away. Yeah, so I'm going to need a gold farm anyway, so I thought might as well build one now, corner that market in the shopping district, and get all that sorted out. I've also been over to my base area finally, and which is a mushroom island, and I've cleared all the big mushrooms out of it and spent about 3 hours in replay mod cutting it all together. And that's about it in Minecraft. That's all I've really got to do. Oh, we've got a sale on Witherheads in the Withering Effects Studios store.
Get 'em while it's hot.
Yeah, get them while they're discounted. You've got, when this episode comes out, guys, you've got 1 day left if you're on the server.
See how desperate we are for diamonds that we're advertising it on the podcast?
We're so desperate.
Well, other than Jimbo. Jimbo's the rich one of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choker box sells, man.
That's a hot item.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got 20 blocks of diamonds.
Forget you, Carl.
Psh.
20, that's it.
I'm pretty sure I have like maybe 2 stacks of diamonds at most.
Yeah, me too.
There's at least 8 in your barrel at the moment.
Yes!
I remember when 2 stacks of diamonds were a lot of diamonds.
That's very true.
My problem is I came into the season going, you know what? I'm going to purchase a lot. I'm going to use the stores a lot more than I have in previous seasons. And then I find out I'm broke and I can't do that. So.
Yeah, like I'm making a good bit of diamonds, but I'm buying a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go there. Like if I need something, I'll go buy it.
Sin's what I call the flea market. He's got like everything in there.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He tried selling it all to me when I was selling him an Ender Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm here to sell you things. Stop trying to get me to buy sand.
Except for gravel. If anyone wants to sell gravel.
And warp stems.
In warp stems.
Gravel and warp stems.
Warp stems and gravel. That's the new market people need to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I go with my week now?
Go for it, Jimbo.
Talk about my week. I had an episode come out today. Carl's episode came out today also.
It did.
With the Mushroom Island and the gold farm you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll get to see the DiiKoj's prank on my episode, the reaction stuff. I saw it as soon as I logged in, DiiKoj, and I immediately got the OBS up and stuff. I didn't get on to plan to record, but I heard the melody and I saw the llama in the background. And I was like, yeah, better record this. But yeah, that's exactly where the video starts off, actually.
Nice.
I've done a lot of work on the base. I just cleared last night the rest of the blocks with the flying machines. Done with the flying machines now. I can go ahead and put those away, though I'm kind of addicted to it. I might just, put a hole out in the middle of nowhere somewhere just for the fun of it, because it's very satisfying to run those TNT duping flying machines.
Are you just going to flatten the entire server? Is that your plan?
Yeah. I'm just going to let them loose and let them just go. Just destroy everything.
We're going to have the trench run from Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so easy. It's so easy. Once you've done it so many times. I put up, what was it, 40? Yeah, I put up 40 of them in a line in like a half hour. Like, it doesn't take that long. Once you know how to build it and you have the blocks, you just throw it up. It's really easy. And then, of course, you got to make a return station. So that's just a piece of obsidian, pretty much. It just sends it right back. A couple more things, exaggerating a little bit, but it's really not that hard. So, but I'm done with it. I'll put it away for now, I promise. I gotta reshape this hole that I realized I miscalculated on. I made this obsidian circle right inside my base, the most inner circle, and that's wrong. So I gotta take out an obsidian circle.
Oh no.
Yeah, a 202 block diameter obsidian circle. So that's gonna suck. I don't know why I was measuring 202 blocks. It's an odd circle, so I made a 202 block. I don't know how it happened. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, I gotta get all that stuff situated. Besides that, I played Aubni's game on the server.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to go into a dungeon, but I do have treasures. So whoever wants to trade for some treasures, I need a map to get to a dungeon. But that's it.
I plan on playing Aubni's game once I finish this episode. I've been working on my episode for like 3 weeks now. I'm so tied up with real life stuff that I haven't been able to finish it. It's finishing tonight. I swear to God, this episode is going out on Sunday. So when you guys are finally hearing this episode should have already been out for a couple of days by now. It's so annoying. Like, I think the last clip I recorded was, okay, so yeah, this is the midway point of me recording this room. And you're not going to see it again until I'm done, because I'm just trying to finish this episode.
Is that the end portal room?
Yeah, all I have to do is the floor, but the floor is a black fog effect floor.
Okay.
So I have to basically dig out the sides of the room again, and then put a bunch of black concrete and black glass down. So
Good job we got that farm.
Yep. Oh, whenever you had me AFK for the store, I purposely AFK'd an extra double chest just for me, knowing I was going to do something stupid like that.
That's not stupid, that's just forward thinking.
No. The AFKing was forward thinking, but let's just make an entire room black. That's stupid.
I like black, it's fine.
So you have to dig up all the sand and all the gravel.
Yeah.
And then put it all together.
But the hard part is getting that dye.
That's true.
Who wants to hunt squid?
Oh, no.
I see these people still making squid farm to get the black ink for dye and stuff. And I'm just like, guys, as scary as wither farms are, they are the much easier farm to build once you find the right location. And they produce way more items than squid farm can.
And really, for a single player, like if you're on a single player world, you can just AFK it for like 15 hours and you'll have more black ink than you could ever use in your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just AFK it once and then kill the wither and then you're done.
Right.
Exactly. Like I said, the one we built, Carl, he's never gotten out. He's blown the farm to bits multiple times. But once you get it focused on that chicken, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and build the farm back now.
It'd be nice if we could get some kind of like chunk loader or some way of keeping him aggro on the chicken, loading and unloading chunks. I think that would make it perfect, but it's not.
Well, I mean,
too bad.
They have the chunk loader in vanilla now. It's just a line code. And technically, we could do that and just have the chunk where the wither and the chicken is in loaded. And because there's no one in that area, Enderman should never spawn, which means it shouldn't really affect the lag or AI or anything like that, because it's just going to be in a wither constantly shooting one head at a chicken.
That's true.
There's that, but I don't know. I only saw us ever AFKing that thing 3 or 4 times, and it'd probably give us as much as we needed for an entire season.
Yeah, probably. Shouldn't need too much more, really.
I don't know. I'm going to need a lot, too.
I will teach you guys how to get the wither to stare at the chicken.
Oh, no. No. I'm scared.
I thought that was like the best title for an episode I ever did, The Wither in the Chicken, and it was like my lowest viewed. Everyone's just like, no one cares about that.
No one cares about chickens and withers.
Now, if I would have named it Wither Chicken, I bet you that would have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, that's the SEO you need on that one.
Oh, I have minigame ideas now.
Oh dear.
You should all be scared.
Oh, come play my minigame. It's got golden nuggets in it.
mine will shoot a wither at you, and you have to stand there as long as possible. Wither chicken.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do less.
Hop into the news, because we actually do have a tiny bit of Minecraft news. So Minecraft is going to PlayStation VR, which is, I guess, kind of big for PlayStation users. I don't know anyone who owns a PlayStation VR.
No, they keep trying VR, don't they? Just like they keep trying 3D, and they keep trying everything else, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's nice, but unless you've got like a really big area that you can like move around in properly, VR, it's just not really all that. You know, unless you've got like one of those machines that you can stand on and it moves in 4 directions. So when you walk,
Yeah.
you know, you stay in the same place, but you're like walking. They're really cool. But, you know, then again, it's getting really, really expensive at that point.
Yep.
It's nice to go to an event, like, you know, CES or something, and play with something like that. I'm sure it's really good at an event. But to try and do it in your own home, I just don't think it works that well, to be honest.
I could see VR for like training purposes, whether it's like pilots who are trying to train to fly big planes, but now they can do it in the safety of not worrying about how to crash or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like set them in this fake cockpit so they can still physically feel the levers and stuff, but have the VR headset on.
Yeah, that's a really good use for it. But I think home use, I think it's going to be a very niche kind of market.
Mm-hmm.
This is where everyone emails in and tells me that they all love VR now.
I'm thinking about my kids that might sometimes need to be activated. And they played VR for, well, it was almost a year ago now on the PC. And, you know, it's coordination and you get some, almost like a bit of training.
Get some exercise.
It's exercise, exactly, instead of just sitting still all the time. That's one. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, just imagine, like, your base was a mountain, and your base is at the top of that mountain, and you have to jump every time the player jumps. You're probably not going to go to your base.
Yeah.
Like, man, I just can't make it up that mountain today. As a VR player. I don't know if that's the case. It might be a button on your little joystick in your hand.
Yeah, but imagine switching to creative mode to fly up to your base and forgetting you can't fly in real life and you just fall into the coffee table.
Yeah, or like hitting your rocket, go to fly, and you like actually jump, hit your head off the
face plant on the
fan. Yeah, that'd be good. That's what I see in virtual reality, is me jumping and me actually doing this stuff. And if it's not me doing that stuff, then it's hard to translate it on the television or through virtual reality.
I agree. It's a very niche market, and there are some games that are probably absolutely amazing in VR, like Beat Saber. That came out of nowhere to actually just dominate a lot of VR gameplay. Really cool. I've thought about getting VR just to play Beat Saber. I was a fan of like the Guitar Hero and stuff when that had come out. So I was like, that could be really cool. But it's not worth $400 for some of these sets to do just that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would think I'd really like to watch a movie in VR. I don't know if that would make it worth it either, but just one time to see a movie in VR. Like, could you imagine Star Wars in VR?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. But second bit of news, I am going to take credit for this. I'm going to have my credit shared with Jimbo because he agreed with me on this.
Okay, I'll take credit.
He might, after what I'm getting ready to say, he might say, nope, that's all you, take it. But they're changing the format of Minecraft Live. When we had found out that they were having another mob vote, I got on my little soapbox and ranted that the mob vote should be after we know what the update is, so we can appropriately vote for a mob that fits the update. I think I went on like a 10-minute rant on this. And sure enough, they're changing the way Minecraft Live is done now. They're going to do the update first, so you don't have to wait for 45 minutes of kind of what I call filler. they're going to do that first. You're going to know what it is, and then we're going to get the mob vote. So we'll be able to vote for a mob throughout the rest of the show. And we can vote for something we feel fits better, which I'm extremely excited for.
Yeah.
Nice. Because that was the issue with 113 and the Phantom, wasn't it? That they did the mob vote first, and we chose a flying mob, and then they said 113 is the ocean update, and we went, well, if we'd known that, we would have picked the ocean mob.
Yeah, there was an ocean mob.
Exactly. So I think they've kind of learnt from that, and clearly this show had something to do with that decision. We're gonna claim that.
Oh yeah, obviously, 100%. Probably not, but we're gonna take the credit anyways.
Yeah, why not?
We're gonna get a message from somebody at Mojang, like, stop doing that. It's like, okay.
Stop taking credit for everything. It's like, but we want to.
I mean, you think about all the stuff we've talked about that's actually came true, and it's like, I feel I have a good pulse on Mojang as a company.
If we're not influencing them, we're definitely guessing what they're going to do.
I mean, I got the 116 update down within 10 days, by the way.
That was pretty amazing, actually.
I picked that number out 6 months almost in advance, right? Was it 6 months?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
And I got it down to 10 days.
It actually came out on my birthday.
Yep.
And I got it wrong.
And you still lost a diamond block.
It was like, happy birthday to me. Take your stupid diamond block.
Oh, my birthday.
Anyways, now we're moving on to listener comments, and that's where Carl fills us in.
Not really a listener comment, but it was just the kind of place that it kind of fitted within the show. We just want to let you know about how we are going to cover Minecraft Live. So there was a bit of speculation last week about how we were going to do it, and we've kind of nailed it down now since Mojang released their video yesterday for us, explaining that they're going to announce the update before they do the mob vote. So what we've decided is Minecraft Live will start at 12 Eastern Time, and we will start our reaction in the live show channel for our milk level patrons at 12:30 Eastern Time. And there we'll also be recording a bonus episode for you guys.
What? Oh.
Yeah, Jimbo, you've got to do more work, sorry.
Oh, okay.
As soon as that episode is given to me and it's edited and uploaded, that will be released to our patrons, all of them. So even if you're not a milk level, you will get that episode within a few hours of Minecraft Live. I nearly knocked my water bottle over there. A few hours of Minecraft Live happening. Then the next day, the 4th of October, the bonus episode will be released to the public on our podcast feed and on YouTube. That'll be at the normal time the show goes up, which is 1 p.m. BST, which is 8 a.m. Eastern. So you'll be getting an extra episode the day after Minecraft Live. We'll be rerunning the mob vote from Minecraft Live to see what you guys would have picked if it was just you voting. And obviously, Duds and Jimbo will talk about the different mobs and that on the next episode, which will go out as normal on the 7th of October. And that'll include all the in-depth analysis of the announcements, Minecraft Live and 117 and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the takeaway is you're going to get a bonus episode with all the reaction from Minecraft Live.
And Carl made a fancy graphic so you don't have to remember all this.
Yes, so that's already gone out as this episode has come out. It would have gone out on Monday, so that's on our Twitter account and on our Discord as well. There's a nice graphic that explains all of that to you. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited for this year.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of stinks because both me and Jimbo had decided, like, if it was going to be near us, like, we might actually have tried to go to Minecon Live.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously with COVID and everything, we couldn't do that.
It's 2022 now.
Oh, they even put it off from next year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading that on one of the blog posts. They've pushed Minecraft Festival back to September 2022.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So we're not even going next year.
Well, that gives us 2 years, guys, to become super relevant.
Yeah.
Basically, for Christmas, give us to all your friends
Yeah, share the show.
That's a good gift.
Share the show, guys.
Yeah, this is probably the worst Christmas gift ever.
I've got you a free podcast.
Well, see, all I can think about is that stupid meme where somebody's asking for something, the mom's like, we have it at home. And it's like the little kid going, Mom, I want the spawn chunks. And then the mom's like, we have spawn chunks at home. And it's the Withering effect.
Like the own brand version.
I'm sorry. This comes from like, was it a comment or a rating we got that Carl shared with us? So it was like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, these guys are pretty good, but they're not the spawn chunks. And it's like, dang.
We're not trying to be the spawn chunks.
No.
We're trying to be something different.
But they gave us full star ratings, so I'm thumbs upping that. Good job.
That was bizarre.
That's awesome.
Hey, if you want to write a negative... No, I'm not going to say that.
It really wasn't negative. It's the truth. We're not them. And
Constructive,
Yeah.
or what is it? Constructive
Criticism.
criticism. Yep,
yeah,
I had it.
I'm all for it because like you said, it really wasn't negative. It's like, yeah, we're not spawn chunks, but we don't try to be, and they give us all the stars you could give us. So
Yep.
GGs.
I'm glad that they, you're not the spawn chunks. No, we're not. That's a good thing. Because then you've got two shows.
Yeah.
Different shows to enjoy.
I mean, let's face it, we're obviously close in the fact that we're talking about Minecraft and we're going to be talking about the same topics, kind of overlapping each other because we're both news related shows for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll talk about the same things they do sometimes, but
With a different perspective.
yeah, we literally tried to make sure we don't listen to their show for like 3 weeks to make sure we don't say the same things they do. At least I do. I'm so far behind.
I haven't listened to him in a while, actually.
I haven't actually either.
I gotta catch back up. I saw Fwip was on there this past week, and that got me super excited.
I didn't get to listen to it, but yeah, they had him on there. That's pretty cool.
Anyways, we're gonna go to our Discord ad. If you guys want to record one of these ads, get in touch with me, Carl or Jimbo. We'll hook you up with the script. We're actually needing new scripts and new recordings because we're gonna be switching up Block of the Week soon because we're running low on blocks. So we want to add some more to that. If you guys would like to record that, again, let us know. We'll hook you up. But this week's Discord ad is going to come from Rebel JC. Take it away, Rebel.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Rebel JC, and I would love for you to get involved in our Discord community. Whether it's voting for Block of the Week, sharing your thoughts and opinions on Minecraft, or just chatting with like-minded listeners, the Withering Effect Discord has something for everyone. Join today by following the link in the show notes.
All right, thanks, Rebel. And as a reminder, Discord is the place where you can get in contact with us as quick and as easily as possible because we're always on Discord. And it's also the one place you can vote for Block of the Week. Awesome segue. We ask you to vote for the following 3 blocks: Target, Crafting, and Hopper. And I'm blaming Aubni for that weird pause because he messaged and I tried to read it while reading the script at the same time and I couldn't do it.
Come on, Duds. You know scripts. You gotta concentrate.
When have I like actually word for word read the script in any episode?
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Just try to remember it every episode. So yeah, the choices were Target Block, Crafting Table, Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
The winner this week is Hopper. Congratulations, Hopper.
Woo, 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 woo.
And it was a pretty big margin, I think. Yeah. Target Block had 12 votes, Crafting Table with 9, and 35 votes for the Hopper.
Nice. I think the Hopper has lost like 4 votes or something like that. So it's nice to see the Hopper.
Like 4 times already.
Yeah, it's nice to see the Hopper win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember it being there, and it got close a couple times, but now it's won. So a few things on the Hopper I have here. It's crafted with a chest and 5 iron ingots. Mined only with a pickaxe. It'll break if you don't use a pickaxe. Cannot be found naturally. Used to catch items, item entities, or to transfer items into and out of containers. has 5 inventory slots available inside of it. A hopper can be used as a container, as a crafting ingredient, and as a redstone component. And a hopper makes all AFK farms possible. Put that on the end there, because that is a fun fact. You cannot have an AFK farm without a hopper.
Watch me.
Think about it.
Very small farm with a hopper minecart. It's still a hopper, though.
You
Still a
still need a hopper.
Okay.
Yeah, you cannot store anything in a chest without a hopper. That's the thing. Nothing can be AFK.
Let me beat your farm. Without a hopper, you can have a ton of foxes in the area, and they'll pick up the items.
That seems very inefficient.
Hey, you didn't
Yeah.
say efficient. You just said possible.
I was thinking of something, and you gave me something. So, I mean, I can't argue with you.
Fair dues, fair dues.
Though, I mean, what happens with the foxes have these items?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you kill the foxes. I didn't say it was an efficient way of doing anything, but
But what would pick those items up?
the foxes.
If you kill the foxes, it makes it un-AFK. You're at the keyboard to kill the foxes.
Well, if you go AFK on a farm and never come back, why pick up the items?
It's on a farm.
Dun dun dun. Let me have my win, Jimbo.
We're confusing ours. Okay, I'll give it to you, but you know what I mean. Hoppers make AFK farms possible.
Hoppers are probably the greatest
Fun
redstone there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone's going to yell at me, "It's the dust that's the greatest." It's like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was my job to fix, quote unquote, the hopper, which is, again, kind of hard to do. It's been around for forever. Its purpose is great. So I had the idea, we have a minecart hopper, right? And the best part about the minecart hopper, other than being able to suck items through solid blocks when it's on a rail, is its double speed, because it has to be quick to be moving and pick items up, right? So there's a lot of people who are using minecart hoppers in weird ways just because of the speed alone. And the fact that you can put a minecart hopper on 4 different hoppers and get an equal distribution in 4 different ways.
Yeah.
My idea was maybe you could create, instead of a regular hopper with iron, maybe you can create a diamond hopper, which will give you a normal hopper, but give you the speed of a minecart hopper.
Ooh.
Because the worst part about minecart hopper is it only goes down, right? You can't make it point outwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if you could now point the hopper before? My other idea was a double hopper, which would be a hopper that has basically 2 outputs, and whatever goes into it, it would equally split. It'd be like, okay, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side. It's not one of those things where you'd have to fill a chest with 2 hoppers underneath it, and no, it would do it like that, and that could be a cool way to distribute items also.
I like that.
Yeah.
Would be kind of hard to work it. The debug stick, I wish that was a vanilla thing, because it would be perfect for stuff like that. Add one more idea, but Carl also had the same idea, so I'm going to let him say it.
Yeah, you wrote filter slot may be a bit overpowered. So this would be where instead of running a comparator and, the usual sorting system,
Yeah.
you'd be able to put an item in a slot in the hopper, or maybe a few items in there, and that would be the only items it would accept. So it's like a filter built into the actual hopper itself.
Yeah.
It would make farm storage a lot not easier, because those systems aren't hard to make, but they are ugly. So if you've got a farm that's out in the open, say for example the ender, and you want to filter out heads from the ender pearls, or if you've got a data pack on your server and you want to filter out the sand and the gravel and all that kind of stuff, you want it to be as clean as possible because it's out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
And if the hopper was able to have a filter within it, you wouldn't need any more blocks. And yeah, I get the fact that might be a bit overpowered, but what about if for every hopper that has a filter in it, you have to craft a hopper and then craft it with a netherite ingot to give it that ability? So for every hopper you want to have a filter in it, you have to go out and you have to mine ancient debris, and you have to make a netherite ingot from it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Craft that with the hopper to get that filter ability. So it is a little bit OP, but it's also, something you have to work for. And if you've got a farm that takes, say, 8 items, you've got to go out and get 8 netherite ingots to make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that way you could still use the old way if it's not that important.
Yeah.
But if it was really important to you to have it look a certain way, and for the most time, that's really just, I ran out of room at this location, but I need a filter here, I could see that.
That's literally the issue I had at the Ender was I designed it and then totally overlooked the fact that so many enderpearls were going to come in, and the heads were being voided.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to add in this system where, it drops all the enderpearls out to allow the heads to come through, and it's not an efficient way of doing it, but I physically can't put in a filter for the heads within the redstone for the Ender because it's so far down in the world, I don't have enough blocks to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So without rebuilding the entire farm, I can't put that filter in. So if I could go out and I'd need 20 of these filters. So go out and get 20 netherite ingots and craft filtered hoppers.
Mm-hmm.
Then that would be the solution, and I would go and do that to fix the issue that I created, So I think that could be a really cool way of doing it.
And a lot of people, when they would start a project that has to collect and filter all these items,
Mm-hmm.
they probably don't have the netherite. And they're probably like, screw it, I'm just going to do it the old way anyway.
Exactly.
You do have those two options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that fix. There was something a long time ago Aubni mentioned about having just a hopper tube. It'll let items pass through it, but it's just a tube. Kind of like how if you were to stick a hopper in the side of something, the bottom of the hopper turns and faces into that block that you're pointing it into. That's what the hopper tube would go. And, okay, this is J-Man's idea, not Aubni's idea. But yeah, just maybe a chest with maybe 2 iron ingots on either side could make one of these, not the full hopper. But yeah, you can just run that tube from one to another, and these hoppers, they won't be, what's the word I'm looking for? I know it kind of searches for items above it, and it's doing that with every hopper it's searching. Maybe the tubes just like run it all the way through, straight through in like a second, run it right through all the hopper types.
So you'd use that in the Nether where you can't run water streams? Is that what you're saying?
Anywhere, actually. But yeah, the Nether would be a good spot. Yeah, I'm curious. They never mentioned anything about it going up. Possibly. I mean, if you face it up.
It's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was interesting. It might need a little bit of balance, but hopper pipes. I kind of like that.
DiiKoj, I know you're not much of a redstone guy, but is there anything about hoppers you'd want to change?
Sometimes annoying when you put water streams going over hoppers and the items get stuck in the... It's fun as well to figure out how you kind of steer the items before they go over the hoppers, that they are at the exact right side and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe, yeah, that's something that I could see changed.
With the new water mechanics, items shouldn't get stuck in hoppers. They should float on top of the water now. So you might be safe there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it gets too low, though, it does still happen.
Oh.
Because I had that with enderpearls. I had to raise the water level up by 1 to get it to flow properly. So I think if it gets below sort of like a quarter of the block, it does still get stuck in the hopper.
Gotcha.
I'm looking at the chat. Aubni suggested a new instrument when you place a note block on top of a hopper.
That could be
That
cool.
could be some...
That'd be cool.
What noise would it make?
Something metallic, I think.
Metallic drum, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes, steel drums.
Steel drum.
Do it
There you go.
already. Steel drums, yeah.
There you go. The hopper was worth waiting for on Block of the Week, wasn't it? We got loads there.
I was also thinking one change I would like to make is them not being spawn proof. I hate how mobs spawn in these hoppers.
That's
You
true.
can put
Yeah.
you can put a beacon beam through it so it's transparent. Why are they able to spawn on these things? I don't like it.
I didn't know mobs could spawn on hoppers.
Yeah, they're spawnable.
I always thought because it's redstone, they wouldn't spawn because mobs can't spawn on redstone.
Nope, had that issue. It's my witch farm.
So
Ooh.
dumb.
Yeah, I don't like that.
When they're not even technically a full block, right? Because you can fall into a hopper.
Right.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Pretty dumb.
Should we get into the main topic for the show?
Yep.
So this is a kind of recap of how we got started. I know we've talked a little bit about it here and there. I guess I have to kind of start with that, right? Because this show was my idea.
Yeah, it was your idea.
I don't like talking about myself. That's the worst part.
You're responsible for this.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the whole "you're not the spawn chunks" thing, that's where this comes in handy. Because the show started because I was listening to the Spawn Chunks. And I went, you know what? That's a really good show. I really liked Spawn Chunks. And I went, there's not a lot of Minecraft podcasts out there. So this could be a void that I could fill. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast. And then I made the mistake of saying, it's easy content. It's like an hour of recording and then I'll be done. And that was the dumbest thing I had ever thought when it comes to the podcast. The podcast takes a lot of time, even though we're not constantly working on it. You've heard me and Jimbo say this multiple times. Coming up with topics is extremely difficult, especially when we try not to overlap topics.
Right.
And we didn't want to be, or at least I don't want to be a top 5, top 10 where we just randomly pick out Minecraft things and go, top 5 trees in Minecraft. It's like, oh, no, please don't.
Ooh, which one would you not have?
It's birch, obviously.
Hey, my entire floor in my base last season was birch. Is that why you never visited me?
Yeah. And so I go back using the Spawn Chunks as kind of a guideline because it was really good. And I knew you'd want to talk about the news because that's the most exciting part of Minecraft is what's coming next. So we have a news segment, but I wanted it to be just a group of people hanging out, talking, more of a round table kind of feel than just news. So we made sure we had as little scripted as possible, especially considering I can't read the scripts to save my life.
Mm-hmm. And I can barely read.
Jimbo can barely read. But yeah, so I got with Bank and I was like, hey, do you want to help me on this podcast thing? He said, sure, that'd be great or whatever. But I was still kind of putting it off. It was just kind of one of those, like, that would be a great idea, but I'm never going to do it things. And I needed a name. And it kept being brought up in live streams. Hey, when you going to do this podcast idea you keep talking about? I was like, oh, when I have a name, it's going to be no big deal. And then I believe it was Aubni who mentioned the name Withering Effect in the live stream. And I went, oh, that's too good of a name not to use. So I guess we're doing this thing now. That's kind of the very beginning. I was getting ready to do all this. Carl was like, hey, I want to help out on the show and I'll do the stuff you don't want to do, which was mainly editing and doing the social media aspect of it. It's like, perfect. I hate Twitter. Let's do this.
Community management, we like to call it.
Well, and we came up with the name Digital Producer for you. Because while you're not technically a producer on the show where you like tell us what to do when it comes to, hey, you need to talk about this topic now, or the show needs to lean more in this direction. You're not that kind of producer. But when it comes to the digital content, making sure things sound good, things look good, that's all Carl. Like all the little ads you see and everything, he sends it to us. He goes, does this look good? And we're like, thumbs up. Or I put a taco in there and we go with it.
A taco is good.
That's a thumbs up.
Yep.
If you see a taco from Duds, that's like double thumbs up. But I'm too lazy to find both thumbs up, so I just put a taco.
If I give you a taco with duds, that means I was too lazy to look for the thumbs up, and then you just get a taco.
Going back to saying, it's easy content and that, I think, obviously we're very much mistaken on the amount of time that it takes. I think all of us are kind of constantly thinking about the show in some way or another.
Yeah.
You guys are thinking up topics. I'm thinking, when am I going to run out of blocks?
Well, let's not forget the random times we go up to DiiKoj and be like, hey, we want to use some new music in this section. Can you throw something together? And we're like, don't worry, you got like 2 weeks. And DiiKoj's like 3 hours later. Here's the first run.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 times better than anything we would have thought of.
And I'm like, DiiKoj, I'd like some music. And I don't know what, but it's in my head. Can you make that, please?
Yeah.
And he does. It's brilliant.
It sounds like when you ride a bike tire on a wooden pallet. And then he throws down this masterpiece. And you're like, yep, that's Bach.
That's it. Yep.
Well, I have the easy job. It's usually much faster, but it's fun. We kind of have a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know how much I can spoil, but you asked me for some new music the other week, and I played that for my youngest son. Came in, and I asked him, "What do you think?" And he said, "Yeah, it's good. I like it." And it kind of has that DiiKoj flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Because he hears me all the time listening to the podcast while I make dinner, and then he hears the theme, so he could sense that it's the same kind of music. So it's the Withering effect, the kind of music theme that we
melody.
Yeah, it's got the same kind of vibe to it, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's very catchy.
And the music to me was one of the more important things. So I knew I had Carl, and that was going to make the show look presentable. And then I had you, who made the show sound professional, in the fact that we had intro music and stuff like that. It wasn't just us popping in and saying hello to start with or whatever, even though my mic has basically been total crap till about 3 weeks ago.
If you guys haven't heard the whole version of our song, is there a place to find the whole version of the Withering Effect theme song?
There is, yeah. It's called patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
Oh, okay. You gotta be patron.
Yeah, I think Patrons get it. Was it $3 a month?
$3, yeah.
Yeah, it's so catchy, the whole tune.
Mm-hmm.
Like the melody at the beginning of the episode kind of gets you going. But yeah, there's so much more to it. It's really cool, really catchy.
I think I have it also somewhere on my channel, but you have to look it up in that case. In that video where I show how I made the music.
Yeah.
I think I have the longer version in there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out.
Yeah. And you got the first version you did in there, which was really good as well. And then kind of how it progressed. That was really interesting to see, like how you went and got all the Minecraft sounds and put them into the same melody, and it came out as what we have now, and it's just amazing.
It's totally incredible. And I'm going to respond to Omni in the live chat saying that was a shameless plug. Say, yes. We actually talked about our Patreon before we record. Like, we've not taken a single dollar out of that account yet. It's basically been reserved for emergencies in case somebody has a breakdown and they don't have the money to fix it. Or if we want to go to Minecon and someone needs a little help getting some airfare tickets or something like that.
Also, Aubni, shameless plugs is my job. So
we know he's just messing with us, but we want you guys to know, like, we really don't make any money on the Patreon. It's literally just there for special needs and stuff like that. And those of you who have subscribed and stuff, thank you so much. Like, it really does mean a ton to all of us.
For sure.
Yeah.
I guess that it doesn't really bring us to the present. I mean, we have, was it last year around Christmas? We ended up switching over to Jimbo as show host.
Yeah.
Me and Bank had some creative differences, and he decided to step away, which is fine. But it left a spot for a host. I know I needed a host. Me just talking by myself is too hard to do on my... So I can't read a script, guys. I'm struggling to put together words right now. So me doing a show by myself would just be absolutely horrible. And those of you who have been listening regularly, we went through 4 or 5 episodes with a different guest to try to fill that role.
That was such a nightmare to schedule.
Yeah. And while some of those were just actual regular guests, a couple of those guests were like behind the scenes tryouts. And that's what Jimbo's was. I don't think we told Jimbo that it was like a tryout.
No, I didn't know until 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, we didn't.
And then that's what it was. And before Jimbo got picked, I will say I offered the role to Carl.
And I said no.
Yeah, immediately. Nope. Carl understands how much work goes into the show. He probably does the most out of all of us, but he would end up being doubling down on work. So he was just like, not going to happen.
It would have got to the point where I wouldn't have enjoyed working on the show.
Yeah.
Because of how much work it was. And I didn't want that to happen.
So you guys went through the list, and like all the way at the bottom,
Who's left?
unchecked was Jimbo, and you're like, oh, I guess.
I actually believe it was Carl who mentioned you. Like, as soon as he said no, it was, hey, why not Jimbo? His episode went well.
Yep.
And it worked out in the fact that you were the same time zone as me, so that meant recording would be easier on both of us. And your mic quality was already where it needed to be, obviously, because of the ripple effect.
Yeah.
And mic quality was huge for us. Like, we didn't want anyone, because Carl was already spending hours editing, so we didn't want another person with a horrible mic to then put more work on Carl.
Right.
So once you joined, it was my mic that was the bad mic. I had to upgrade.
Yeah. But no, Jimbo, you were my first pick.
Yeah, number 1 draft pick.
There you go.
I just had to check and make sure I wasn't doing any work. Like, I'm not doing any work, right? No, Jimbo, you don't have to do any work. Just bring in a note.
I think that's exactly what you said. Like, am I going to have to do anything for this? It's like, no, you just show up and record, man.
Yeah, you just talk.
I'm like, man, I got to show up too? Let me think about it.
You got to read 2 scripts. That's all.
And guys, Jimbo does do actual work now. So
yeah, we're messing with him. We're messing with him.
If I can't come up with a topic, or if I'm busy and I can't fill out the show notes for the week, Jimbo immediately jumps in there and knocks them out. He's the majority of the Half Stack show. If you're a patron, he does a lot of the topics for that and everything, because topics are so hard. Give us more topics, guys.
They are hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just us before the show today trying to come up with topics for the pre and post show we spoke for like an hour and we didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Basically, I feel sorry because StoneFigure was sitting in there waiting on us, because I said, yeah, around 2:00. And DiiKoj said, yeah, let me just eat real quick. And I went, okay, that's perfect timing. And then, yeah, it was like 3 something where I was like, okay, we really need to get into the show and start recording.
Yeah.
Best part is we got us all together. Got us all together here.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the show and stuff. With a big event coming up.
Yep.
1.17.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a lot of fun.
But that brings us to where we are today. So the second part was we were going to talk about the future of the show, where we wanted it to go from here. Honestly, I'm going to go with, I didn't think we'd average more than 30 listens a week. I never in my mind could see us getting over 500 listens a week like we do now.
Yep. It's
crazy.
Pretty mad.
Well, when you look at the other podcast, they have at least one show host or somebody connected to the show that has a established community somewhere else already.
Mm-hmm.
So they can bring people over, which is awesome for them. Like, they obviously worked hard to get that community in place and everything. We had a community, but it's nowhere near established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the time of the show starting, DiiKoj had our highest subscription count, and it was just over 120 subs or something like that. And DiiKoj is not a show host. He's just the music guy. And so he gets his name mentioned or whatever, but it's not like his community's actively seeking us out for a thing to listen to. Then we had Jimbo come on. Jimbo, you hit 300 subs on YouTube this week.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did this week.
So,
I did hit
GG's on
300.
that.
I think that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice, man.
It's awesome. So we've steadily have grown altogether. DiiKoj, you're over 1,000 subs on YouTube now, right?
Yeah, 1,800, I think.
Good Lord.
Nice.
You want to share some? Lonely Duds and Carl here.
I'm trying, man.
Basically, guys, everybody who listens to the show, go to the show notes and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels, and we'll hit 500 very quickly.
To go with Omni's saying they grew up so fast. Yes, exactly. That's one of the more things I'm so proud of is when I started Comicraft, DiiKoj joined with maybe 50 or so subs. Jimbo literally started his channel at 0, and to see, because they're so good creatively and they make such great content, to be able to just know that they started almost where I was and they chose my community to put a foothold in there. It's I get a kick out of it. It's great. I always referred to Comicraft as the YouTube diamond in the rough, because while we didn't have big name crazy content creators, our little group of content creators were very good. And you look at Bank started on Comicraft too, and I don't think half his videos get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah.
No, really, yeah.
Also, we've all kind of stepped up our videos for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone of us and everyone on the server has stepped it up with production and editing and stuff. I mean, I've started using the replay mod, and now I'm using it every episode pretty much, and it's really sort of from the first time I used it, where it's just a pan across, to my latest episode where there's loads of cuts and things in it, and that's been really fun to learn as well. And I think everyone's mic quality has improved over the years, and editing has improved and everything like that. So if you guys have never watched any of our videos, please go and watch one of our latest episodes and just see the kind of content that we're all making. And if you like it, then that's awesome. But yeah, we've all done a lot of work to get to the kind of quality we are now, both with our YouTube and with the podcast. And to get to 64 episodes of the show is something I know Duds didn't think we'd get to, and I didn't really think we'd get to either. So it's really nice to be here.
I knew the whole time.
Jimbo was like,
I already knew.
Jimbo's like, I'm here. I got this. Don't worry, guys.
Yep.
I remember sitting down and recording that first episode going, okay, this is a lot more work than it should be, or at least I thought at the time should be, and there's no way this is going to last 10 weeks. Here we are 64 episodes later, piling on, and to me, the moment that stands out in my mind wasn't even on recording when it comes to the show, and it was having Wells Knight on, because Wells Knight is such a cool guy. But when he broke down microphone setups and what we should do, or at least what I should do to get better quality, I dropped everything and went out and purchased a new microphone setup, because I trusted his words to the max. And sure enough, Carl, do you have to edit my stuff much anymore?
Little bits here and there, but not as much as I used to have to edit. I mean, you can have a motorbike go past and it doesn't even pick it up.
Yes.
That's the kind of quality we're at here.
Yeah.
And I just want to say with Wells Knight, the fact that he took the time after recording 2 hours of content with us to spend some time with you guys and going through mics and stuff is really awesome.
Yeah. We were in chat for an hour and a half after the show?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, dude.
Yeah, he's really cool, yes.
What about you guys? Do you guys have any moments that kind of stand out?
I was a big fan of Logical Geek Boy before he came on. I remember when he first started, it was his Road to Hermitcraft series. It got changed. But yeah, I started watching him back then, and even like his first videos, and people were downplaying, hey man, you have to be more exciting. You have to do this and that. And then I watched him like change and stuff, and how he became the person he is now. And he's got all these subscribers. He's always been good at what he does. That's what I enjoyed his content for. He's really innovative with the Redstone and the way he uses it. And it was just cool to have him on. That was probably, I mean, Wells Knight, of course, was, one of our biggest guests, but talking to Logic, was pretty surreal also.
Yeah, it was.
We've all gone through that, haven't we? I mean, if you go and look at any one of our first episodes, we sound completely different to what we do now. You all start with that kind of monotone kind of voice and that, and then you get into it and you make videos and you get better and you talk more and you get, you convey the enthusiasm that you have inside to your viewers or your listeners that may have not have come across before but was always there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the monotone thing was something I was hoping we could avoid with the podcast, because like you said, every person's first YouTube video, for some reason, it starts out extremely monotone.
Yeah.
And when it came to the podcast, it's like, I don't want that to happen here, because thanks, Suze. Way to make noise during this episode.
Susie.
Yeah. It wouldn't be an episode without her deciding to do something stupid. Like that time, she literally just stood up, shook, and then laid right back down. But with no visuals, really, because we have a YouTube channel and stuff, but there's not a lot going on there. I knew that the sound had to be good. And given the fact that at the time I didn't have the money to spend on upgrading microphone setups or everything like that, I made sure the co-host, Bank at the time, had good mic setup, which he did, and we could talk freely back and forth. Me and Bank could do that. It was an even flow, and it wasn't so much like we were trying to talk at people. It was just two people chilling out, talking Minecraft back and forth. So the idea of the whole round table experience, what came in, like if I could full on record the show how I wanted, it would be all of us in a room, sitting at a desk, talking to each other in real life. Obviously, we can't do that with us living in different continents, but that's how I want the show to feel every week. So hopefully that comes across in the show.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to develop that better the more we do it. Usually when it comes to crunch time, it's time to record. It's usually, you have those butterflies. It's, oh man, I don't want to mess up. Now it's kind of like, all right, let's do it. Let's just do the show. It's a lot more easier. More you practice, the more you get better at it.
And I can say every time we mess up the script, to me it's a good feeling. And Carl's just like, you're just saying that because you keep messing it up. It's like, yeah, but it loosens us up some where we don't have to feel so rigid.
Yeah.
So when I hear Jimbo mess up the intro, and I'm just like, yes, okay, now we can get going.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there's been multiple times where we've both messed up pretty bad, where we're just like, okay, stop, we're going to start over.
When you mess up scripts, it's real, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to sound like we're reading. We cover the news, but you're not reading an autocue. It's not that kind of show.
For example, like at the beginning when I, introduced myself and I asked Duds, what have you been up to this week? That's what it says. What have you been up to this week, Duds? I try to make it different. And then I sound dumb when I mess up the words every time I try to change it. So lately I've been just reading the script. I'm like, screw it. Yeah. What's that say? Okay. But yeah, I used to try to change it a little bit to where sometimes you couldn't even tell what I was trying to say.
The only parts that are truly scripted are the first sentence of basically every show, because that's just us introducing ourselves, getting the show name out there, the date we recorded. For me, the date we recorded is very important because we record on different dates and the show goes out, and we have people saying, hey, why didn't you talk about this Minecraft news in this episode? It's like, yeah, well, if you listen to the date when we first said it, we recorded this 3 days before that news came out. So that's why it's not in there. And we wish that was different, but we're all adults that are working jobs, and that's just kind of how we have to do it. And then the end of the show, the Patreon, the outshow, those are scripted to the max just because Carl says, hey, we got to hit this, this, and this to make sure people understand, like, this is where they can find us. This is where you can give us some ratings to help us out. It's like, okay, that makes sense. We want people to know every time that, hey, we're going to be here. You can count on us being here.
And I'll never remember that.
Right.
I'll never remember.
Same here. Well, at one point, I was trying to be fancy and do the whole change up wherever Carl could find the show or put it wherever it should be. At one point, I've stopped doing that because I'd constantly mess it up. So we could probably delete that part of the script because I don't think I'll ever go back to doing that because I kept sabotaging myself.
It was really cool when you're doing it. It is kind of hard. You got to pick a new place every time.
Right.
That's the thing. It's got to be relevant to the show. So yeah, I can understand why it'd be difficult to do that every time.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that went away.
I'm sure you do. You probably listen to like every line of the show at least 2 to 3 times.
Yep.
So,
do indeed.
DiiKoj, is there any moment from the show that kind of stands out for you?
I don't know. I think it's the mix of 1 week it's really down to earth, and you kind of talk about your Comcraft, how it started, and how you played in this little nice community. And the next week there is a world famous Minecraft player or developer, and that also kind of feels natural.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the mix. I think laid back mix.
Very true. It's strange to think that these big name guests we've been having on the show lately are really considerate with their time and coming on, and they're not acting like they're bigger than us in any way. They're just like, yeah, you love Minecraft? I love Minecraft. Let's talk about some Minecraft. It's so cool.
Yeah, all guests have been really nice, really willing to work with us. It's been cool. Even our rival, former rival,
I
Void Frog.
I don't think we can call the Void Frogs technically rivals. Q might want to have. We love those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
We do.
It was very cool because they're way different kind of show than we are, which was awesome.
And I got on them about like doing the news all the time, and the way they record ahead of time. You know, there's no way they can get the news out. Oh, that news is 3 weeks late. You know, that wouldn't be ideal for them to do. So
you guys question our 2 to 3 days in advance doing the news. Where these guys are recording like a month to a month and a half in advance. Yeah.
Our scheduling to get, because their episode was recorded like a month before, our episode was recorded 3 days before, and to try and get all that scheduling to kind of line up in that week that we did was more work than you imagine.
It was more work than the show.
But I'm glad it came off as it did, because I think that was a really good kind of crossover collab kind of thing that we did with them. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd love to do more of that.
Pixel Rift, send me an email.
I have an idea for another one, but that's something I'll save in my back pocket because I haven't mentioned it to you guys yet either. So I'll wait till I talk to you guys about it, and then we might mention it.
Sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at the time. We're kind of over by about 10 minutes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and say, before Jimbo reads us out, a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are Aubni, Crock, ohbeep, StoneFigure, TheOfficialCCL, viperoustuna, and YDYT. If you too would like access to the exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/thewithering effect.
And thank you, Carl and DiiKoj, for joining us today. It's nice having you. Finally got us all together.
Been a pleasure, as always.
Pleasure, yeah. Nice.
If you like the show, you can share it with all your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us. Or if you listen on Apple Podcast, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach out to more listeners. If you would like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jim and myself, and also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be and where it shouldn't. And the main music you hear is done by our amazing I've lost my spot in the script. This is why I don't do the thing.
You did that.
This is why I don't do it.
I was very tempted to change your script as you were reading it just to mess with you, but you did it on your own.
The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only DiiKoj. Everyone's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for getting withered with us. Special thanks to Carl and DiiKoj. You guys should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hej då.